Definitely a talented group today, huh? Especially that point guard matchup.
Yeah, it was a talented group, and we were impressed. I just asked the guys after the workout about their schedules, and 3 of the 6 had workouts yesterday in places that aren't real close to Phoenix. So that kind of tells you a little bit about the process and what these guys go through. But it was a good group. We had good shooting, pretty good size, some interchangeable matchups, especially on that perimeter. So it's probably the most talented group we've had in so far overall.
Anybody that stood out? Anybody that stood out?
Well, different guys for different reasons. I think the backcourt guys. A lot of it was like the ACC All-Star game with we had North Carolina, Notre Dame represented, Virginia, Boston College. So guys did different things well. It was a pretty good shooting group overall. Guys like Hilliard, Jerry Grant shot the ball well. Olivia Hanlon showed off his quickness. So, and then the big showed pretty good versatility. Rashawn Holmes blocked a lot of shots. Darian Atkins, was in the right spot a lot of times defensively. He showed good physicality. And then Tokido with his length and kind of defensive ability is pretty unique. So I think, like I said, of the groups we've had in so far, this group will probably have the most guys who get drafted out of it.
You said you take the best guy available at 13. So if Grant would be that guy in that range, how do you see him fitting in, considering what you already have on the roster?
I think Grant's intriguing because he's a combo guard, play a little bit of one, a little bit or two. He had a very good career at Notre Dame. He shot the ball well. He comes from a good pedigree, good basketball family, and his brother's in the league, 76ers, and his dad and uncle obviously played a long time. So, we value that. We like the way Notre Dame plays. We like their style. We think it's kind of how we play or how we'd like to play. He's an intriguing guy. We're going to get a chance to spend some more time with him after the workout, but he certainly showed well today.
Decision making, I mean, he didn't turn the ball over a lot considering as the ball was in his hands. I mean, could you see that today, or just in general with him this senior year?
Yeah, you could, and I think some of that is basketball IQ and intelligence, and some of that is coaching. Certain teams have good systems where they value the ball and don't turn it over. Notre Dame's one, Wisconsin comes to mind as another. So you can see that some of their players are pretty well trained, but at the same time, a lot of it is instincts, and he made some nice passes out here today, especially in the 3-on-3 action.
You think that he could defend both positions at this level?
I do. I do. Yeah. I mean, size-wise, he's kind of bigger than I guess what you think of as a traditional one, maybe a little smaller than a 2. But he's got decent strength, decent length, pretty good quickness. So yeah, I do.
Of all the sort of facets of your job, how much do you enjoy this part of it, having the guys here, getting to talk to them, that kind of thing?
It's fun. It's enjoyable because the process is so thorough, or I guess so involved throughout the year. For really about 10 months, our scouts travel the world. They watch film, they watch practice, they talk to coaches, they gather all kinds of information about the players. But really, only for the months of May and June can we interact with them. And so it's like you have a certain picture of a guy, you have some thoughts about him, but you don't really know until you get the chance to see him work out in person. We put them through some different things out here that they don't necessarily do for their college teams, and then we get to spend some time with them. Not only after the workout, but our trainers and strength coaches spend time with them in the weight room. Our assistants spend time with them before and after the workout on the floor. So it's really an all-encompassing process. But I think it's fun for us and it's fun for them. A lot of these guys, we mentioned to them after the workout. This is your dream. And although it is a grueling workout process, as I mentioned with 3 guys having workouts yesterday, keep in mind the light at the end of the tunnel and the big picture and kind of what you're about to accomplish or what you may potentially accomplish here a month from now. I think it's pretty special.
Assuming you have Brandon back, what would you like to have in that bench playmaker or point guard type of player?
Some versatility would be good. Guy who can slide between the 1 and the 2. We value guys who can create good shots for themselves and others. And, I think some of the guys out here have the ability to spot up or, if they run off that shot, they can put the ball on the floor a few dribbles and make a play. And, that's kind of the way the league's going with the spacing and, the ability to drive and kick is really important and also to knock down open spot-up shots. And, I think this is a pretty talented group as far as guys who are able to do that.
At the Combine, there was a lot of point guards who mentioned Hanlon as one of their toughest matchups. Do you think he's been a guy that's kind of overlooked from the college season?
He had a really good career. Yeah, actually, I was with the Celtics when he started his freshman year, so I watched him a lot at Boston College, and he's continued to improve these past few years. The team went through a transition with the coaching change, but he was pretty consistently good with, probably for ACC standards, not a lot of talent around him. So he's an impressive kid. He's an impressive player. He showed good quickness today, and he's had the ball in his hands a lot over the past 3 years, and I think a lot of the times that helps expedite the learning curve, especially when you're playing with a less talented team, because you do have the ball and you have to make decisions under a lot of against a lot of defenses that are designed to either slow you down or try to get the ball out of your hands. So sometimes it obviously is a challenge going from the college to the NBA level, but sometimes a guy like him might see less attention at the NBA level than he did in college, just because of the players who are around him.
What Atkins did at Portsmouth, did that open up eyes, or was he someone that was kind of already on the radar for you?
Yeah, I think with the Virginia guys, not just Atkins, but a few of them, their system maybe doesn't lend itself to, showing up great statistically and things like that, but they won a lot of games. And they were as good defensively as, of a college team as I've seen in a long time. Especially when they're healthy early in the year, they tailed off a little toward the end, but they got off to a great start this season, and he was a big part of their defense. I believe he was, first team all defense in the ACC, maybe conference defensive player of the year. So I think, they have so many talented guys, and their games are so low scoring, and there's so few possessions, it can be hard to single one out during the year. But, like in Portsmouth or in this kind of environment, I think you're able to see what he's able to do and his versatility. And, show a little bit of an offensive game today, too. He's pretty good, pick and pop guy from the mid-range. So he's an impressive guy, impressive physical specimen for a guy that age. And, coming out of a program like that, he's going to play tough. He's going to defend, and he's really going to value winning.
His size, matching up against some of the bigger fours, or is he more suited for that small forward position?
Well, I don't think necessarily. I think a lot of teams are going with, quote-unquote, undersized fours who are versatile, can guard guys out to the three-point line, but also hold their position in the post. So I think he's able to do that. Draymond Green's having a lot of success in that kind of role right now. He was the guy that slipped to the second round because he didn't fit the, kind of positional box, the prototypical size and length and all that. So I think he's probably more suited to be, that kind of four.
Does Tokoto have to show a reliable shot to be in the NBA, or does he have already skills defensive-wise and athleticism to be there?
Yeah, he does a lot of nice things. He's got good length, as you mentioned, good defensive ability, gets a lot of steals, passes the ball pretty well. You can tell he's been working on his shooting, and it has improved from what we've seen in North Carolina. But, there's still some work to do there. But, he has, I think, a willingness and the ability to be a good defender. And I think he's got to embrace that role. So, shooting is something that takes time for any of these guys going from the college line to the NBA line. And you can, like I said, you can tell he's worked on it. But, he has a lot of things and does a lot of things that you can't teach. All right.
He needs a target.